We got the feeling of mystery. We got the touch of humanity. I know we can live forever. We've got the voice of the mellow.
Hi and welcome to Leicester Jazz House TV. I'm Jen Johnston and I'm here with Mellow, Baku, and we're here tonight at the ABC of Jazz event at the Y Theatre in Leicester. Now, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a vocalist, singer-songwriter, and I do some spoken word as well, and visual art and write, so I'm kind of all-round artist in lots of ways. Most things except dancing. And a lot of what I do is rooted in jazz. I do quite a lot of jazz.
Okay, what kind of thing are you going to be doing tonight?
Tonight, I think I'm going to be doing mostly like standards from, you know, like Great American Songbook standards, like all the sort of Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan stuff. And I will do a couple of, one or two of my original pieces, which are more like spoken word pieces around the theme of jazz. And yeah, I'll be joined with a pianist and also Marcus Joseph on saxophone.
Fab.
So yeah.
How did you get started?
What, with my singing?
Yeah, what inspired you to do it? I'm a musician.
Well, I always sang from a child, like in church and things like that. And then when I became a student, I think really I was studying fine art, and I used to just take my guitar around bars and sing and that kind of thing. But then Billie Holiday, jazz vocalist, was the first that I came across, and also Stevie Wonder, so like soul and jazz and all the old stuff like Joni Mitchell, and of course Bob Marley and that kind of thing. So and I was just really drawn to these things, and I hadn't heard them because the sort of church I was brought up in was really strict, so we didn't hear any like pop music or anything.
Yeah.
So it was more like a commune type environment. And but we joined when I was 7, and my mum before that was like quite sort of hippie, living in London and going to blues clubs, and she played all of that music in the 70s kind of thing. And then when I sort of heard it again when I was a student, it was like really nostalgic, even though I couldn't really remember it. It was like I'd always known that music, so I got back into it. Every time I rang my mum to say, I'm listening to this, she was like, oh yeah, I used to play that all the time when you were really little. So yeah.
What are your thoughts on women in jazz? Do you think they're represented fairly?
Well, I think I guess as a female jazz vocalist, every time I'm going to speak from my own experience, but every time I sort of turn up to play with a new band, because often that's what I do, I play in little festivals around the country and stuff, and sometimes I don't like save money or what have you, they just book you, and then you turn up and they have a band for you, you're already on the festival. And if I don't know them, you can feel that they're like, we've got a jazz singer, it's going to kind of like mess everything up for us because we're jazz musicians, and now we've just got this singer. And I don't know if it's just a woman thing, but it does tend to be mostly women who are singing jazz.
Yeah.
And I do wish there were more instrumentalists, more female instrumentalists out there doing jazz, because I would love to do a band, you know, that was mostly women. It would just be wonderful. So yeah, it's very male dominated. I guess all aspects of music have got male dominated. Maybe folk has got quite a lot of women in, I think. But yeah, in rock and in jazz, it's quite masculine.
Yeah.
A bit of jostling for position sometimes. I can't be bothered with it.
What advice would you give to a young woman wanting to get involved in the jazz scene?
I think I would just say, you know, make sure you really drive towards excelling. When people tell me that I'm really good, say if it's another singer who's like got loads of potential, but maybe like not quite got the technique yet, I do remind them that I did like 8 years with 2 residencies. So like twice a week for 8 years, pretty much. Twice a week for 8 years of just singing jazz standards with kind of these older guys, you know, my old boys, I like to call them, who just played jazz for fun. And I got to do that for that long, and I don't know how much that is. It's like 52 times 2, 104, 208 gigs every year. You know, apart from anything else, other little gigs that I started building up doing. So do loads of it. That's what I'd say. That's just do loads of it, really excel at it. And basically, if you're good, when you do come to play with, like, you're a woman in jazz and you come to play with guys, as soon as you start and they know you can do it, they will give you the respect as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about the Leicester music scene? Do you think it's doing well at the minute? Do you think it needs improving?
I think there's sort of like quite a few it's quite patchy, so there's different circuits. And sometimes I miss out on some of the more exciting things that are happening because I'm busy trying to make my bread and butter. So the sort of circuit where there's a lot of open mic stuff and really, really fun things, sometimes I can't do because if I'm not out gigging, then I'm like resting.
Yeah.
I'm like really, really happy not to be out. So yeah, so I wouldn't say I see loads of it, but there are this sort of lovely little pockets of resistance all around the place doing doing nice music.
And do you have any upcoming projects?
Yeah, I'm working with, it's all ongoing, we've just kind of been going for a couple of years, it's called the Friday People, and I guess it's kind of related, quite jazzy, but it's also got sort of elements of dance and funk and kind of laid back, kind of loungy vibes and Latin, and we had a couple of releases on a label called At Jazz, which is Derby based. Okay. And yeah, it's about 3 videos now up on YouTube. So with 2 releases, and then we're sort of working towards finishing the album. But I'm sort of involved with the Friday People, and what they want to do is then go on and perhaps work with other people, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, Marcus Joseph and the Friday People. Or such and such a person, or another singer in the Friday People, you know, which would be really, really nice.
That sounds really
just a collective of musicians and producers and stuff, kind of putting things out. And hopefully that sound will keep progressing as well, because it's already changed since we started it.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then the other sort of thing I'm doing is a bit of trying to get more sort of spoken word doing. I really enjoy doing that, especially with the instruments. Kind of talking, sometimes singing, but quite poetry based, not like a song with a verse and a chorus and a, yeah, so kind of really creative stuff.
And you create that yourself?
I do, yeah, I do sometimes. Sometimes there's an organisation called Tilt, or Renaissance One, based in London, but she does Melanie Abrahams does quite a lot of work up here as well, with quite a lot of musicians and artists and spoken word artists. Up in Leicester as well, so I've been really fortunate to do some work for her up here and down in London as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Have a great performance tonight.
Hi people, my name is Mellow Baku and you are watching Leicester Jazz House TV.